There was 6 seconds left in the game. Again, 2-point game.
Did you witness the recent events in the WNBA Finals? The Minnesota Lynx renowned coach, Cheryl, Reeve, just revealed something shocking that is rocking the league. She is claiming that the entire event was rigged, not just a few poor calls.
I know all the headlines will be Reeve cries foul. Bring it on.
However, this is where things start to get very interesting. Reeve isn't just talking. She is providing evidence to support her accusations, including alarming free throw disparities and questionable foul calls. And get this, LeBron James is supporting her, even tweeting his support.
James tweeted, he said, "I'm sorry, but that wasn't a foul. Let the damn players dictate the outcome of a close, battled, tested game."
Just wait till you hear what Cheryl Reeve had to say to understand why this could permanently alter the WNBA. The Minnesota Lynx coach's post-game interview began normally enough, but then she revealed a surprise that left everyone speechless. Imagine Reeve standing there, appearing composed, and then she bursts into flames.
I saw a very physical and aggressive New York team. We know this from being a part of the game for so long that sometimes you get away with stuff when you're physical and aggressive, and they certainly did. It's a shame that officiating had such a hand in a series like this. Obviously, there's always going to be a team that's going to be a little more disappointed than the other. I thought today.
Everyone's eyes widen in shock at what they just heard, and the room becomes silent. However, Reeve is just getting started. She doesn't hold back at all. She sobs into the referees, the league, and everything.
This shit ain't that hard. Officiating it's not that hard. When someone is being held, be consistent. If you don't want to hold it one, then don't call it the other. Be consistent. Every team asks for that.
She is screaming and pointing out every single thing that went wrong. The referees are inept. The league is ignoring it. It's a full-on assault, and Reeves isn't holding back. It's like seeing a volcano erupt. But here's the worst part. With receipts in hand, Reeves highlights this absurd statistic on the free throw differential. The numbers are so skewed that it's difficult to accept that it's really a coincidence. She has a point, but Reeves isn't finished yet. She is essentially asking, how is this fair? How is this even possible? Oh, no. She's only getting warmed up when she begins to bring up previous disputes that allude to a more serious issue. Get this, she says.
That's tough. It's tough to swallow. Just like our 2016 championship that was lost. Officiating, missing a shot clock violation. This sucks. This is for a championship.
She seems to be making connections, demonstrating that this is a pattern rather than an isolated incident, and Reeves is calling it out. She is now on a roll and calling for changes.
The challenge, we have got to change our challenge rules, and the officials doing the game should have a third party.
Reeves says she's clearly given this some thought, and is using this opportunity to advocate for genuine change rather than just whining. There is no denying the emotion in her voice when she says,
"It just doesn't feel right that you lose a series with that level of discrepancy."
Her frustration is palpable. Her disappointment and rage, everyone is listening, and it's genuine and raw. Before long, Reeves' tirade goes viral, and the WNBA Twitter is exploding with responses, and everyone is discussing it. Unaffected by the media or headlines, player supporters, and even those who don't typically follow the WNBA are commenting, like wildfire spreading across social media at breakneck pace. I said, she said.
And I know all the headlines will be Reeve cries foul. Bring it on, right? Bring it on. Because this shit was stolen from us. Bring it on.
That may seem like the end, but it's actually just the beginning. Reeve's remarks have set off a larger chain reaction, with cries for accountability reverberating throughout the league and people seeking answers and change. Now, this is about the integrity of the entire league, not just one game or one series. However, as Reeve's remarks continue to reverberate, everyone is wondering what exactly transpired in those last seconds. Prepare yourself, because we are going to dissect the most contentious call in WNBA history. If you think you know what happened, think again.
The WNBA 2024 season is finally over, with the New York Liberty winning their first WNBA championship ever, winning against the Minnesota Lynx 67-62 in Game 5. Now, this was a hard-fought series all around. And while the New York Liberty is celebrating and their fans are celebrating, everybody else is talking about the foul that was called that should have never been called in the first place.
Imagine that there are 6 seconds remaining on the clock. Liberty is down by 2, and then Stewart's got the ball, and the tension is so high that a knife might cut it. If anyone can save the game, it's Stewart, their star and go-to player. But what comes next is going to blow your mind. So let's get into the video that started this issue. Did you witness Stewart get the ball and make a move? As she drives towards the basket, all eyes in the arena are fixed on her. Then, all of a sudden, Alana Smith of the Lynx is whistled foul. The crowd goes crazy, but wait, something is wrong. Let's go back and examine this play frame by frame.
Okay, so she gets the ball here. She jumps 1, 2, 3, 4. She at least jumps 1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh. She at least takes 4 steps at minimum. She might have taken 5. She hops, stutter steps, and doesn't put the ball down until she gets in the paint. She literally catches the ball close to the 3-point line, doesn't put it on the ground until she gets into the paint.
That is a transgression. It's obvious as day, yet the referees aren't seeing it. How can you overlook something so important at such a critical moment? Yet wait, it gets even stranger.
After she gets the ball and kind of travels, then it looks like this Liberty player is going straight up with it.
To view it, you would need a microscope. Although the video may not fully depict it, let's take a closer look with the picture. Smith is right there, yet she's barely touching Stewart. How is that a foul? It seems like the referees are seeing things that aren't really there.
So as you can see in this photo here, which is right before Stewie goes up with the ball, Alana Smith is not touching her at all. She has 2 fingers that look like slightly tapping the ball. Her body isn't touching Breanna Stewart. Her arm isn't touching Breanna Stewart. There was clearly 0 contact here.
You're probably thinking all right now, yet they'll argue that you're correct. Everyone is holding their breath, believing that this cannot continue and that it would undoubtedly be overturned, but Cheryl Reeve challenges the call right away.
The whole time, everyone's looking like, what? That was a foul?
The referees remain steadfast and return with statements that
Alana Smith is not in a legal guarding position. Therefore, Stewart will be shooting 2 free throws, and Minnesota will use their timeout.
Stewart comes up to the line and sinks both free throws, and the game is knotted instantly. However, the impact is much greater than just those 2 points. Not in lawful guarding position. What since? When is that even a thing in this kind of situation? It's like they're inventing rules up as they go along. This call not only altered the result of a single game, but the entire series as well. To top it off, the game's free throw discrepancy was astounding and caused many doubts. Let's view the statistics.
You guys, the final free throw count at the end of the game, the Liberty shot 25 free throws and the Lynx shot only 8.
It's no surprise that Reeve was furious during his post-game interview. Even LeBron James couldn't keep quiet about it and tweeted about it. That's not just a bit uneven. That's a Grand Canyon-sized gap.
He said, "I'm sorry, but that wasn't a foul. Let the damn players dictate the outcome of a close, battled test."
Damian Lillard also voiced his opinion, criticizing the referees. But when the basketball king calls out your officials, you know you have a problem.
The refs called this game like they knew the assignment in the second half. Boy, great game.
Wait until you see what Isaiah Thomas tweeted. He didn't hold back. If you thought that was brave.
Isaiah Thomas tweeted, "They low-key cheated for New York, but I get it, LOL."
1 call, 6 seconds, and a great deal of controversy. This isn't just about one poor decision. It's about the integrity of the game, and believe me, this conversation is far from over when current and former NBA players are publicly criticizing the officiating. Fans are revealing patterns that will leave you speechless. Are we seeing the largest scandal in WNBA history? Let's break it down. The WNBA has some serious explaining to do. Just when you thought the drama couldn't get any more intense, internet detectives arrive and turn everything upside down. They analyze old plays and the commissioner's wardrobe choices.
Fans were noticing the commissioner's outfit that she wore for the trophy presentation. I saw this tweet that said, oftentimes the league wants to market X to win.
You may be thinking that this is just one bad call, but think again. Fans aren't just angry about that last-second mistake. They're searching deeper for patterns throughout the entire series. It seems like everyone has suddenly turned into a detective, and I can assure you that they're discovering some crazy things. But here's where it gets really crazy. You won't believe this.
Just look at this photo right here. I'm going to save this image before this gets taken down too. Just look at her dress. It's literally the New York skyline. And okay, I kind of get it. They're playing in New York, so no matter what team wins, but you have a New York team playing their final game.
Who knew fashion could be so divisive? Some fans don't believe it to be a coincidence, claiming it's evidence that the league was always working to win for the New York Liberty.
How? I can't even talk straight. How do you go into your closet and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna have a really big job after today's game. We're gonna have the most fans watching this game in over 20 years. You know what dress I'm gonna wear?
And it continues from there. It seems like they are creating this enormous conspiracy theory, and every new piece of evidence makes it harder to ignore. Some fans believe they have found concrete evidence that the entire series was rigged. They are pointing to suspicious patterns in the officiating, dubious calls at pivotal moments, and even the way the games were marketed.
I'm here to tell you, dog, it was simply ridiculous. Now, one call sparked debate online throughout this whole situation, and I'm here to tell you, this is very questionable, and this is what I be saying about them WNBA referees.
It's not new that major leagues have a history of dubious officiating in high-stakes games, and now the WNBA is facing the same kind of scrutiny. It's like history repeating itself, but this time social media is magnifying every whisper. Recall the 2002 NBA Finals, where the refereeing was under fire.
By the way, the WNBA officiating, it's been an issue for years. Yes. There have been numerous complaints from a bevy of individuals about the quality of the officiating in the WNBA.
Speaking about well-known names when the basketball king talks, everyone listens to his tweet criticizing the referees, which gave all these hypotheses a huge boost. Suddenly, it wasn't just WNBA fans discussing. The entire basketball community was buzzing. LeBron James's comment was like adding fuel to an already raging fire.
Like on every level, it's just disaster after disaster after disaster after disaster. Like this, at this point, it's laughable. I can't even hold back at this point. There were so many people, former WNBA players, current WNBA players coming out and just saying how bad the referees were, how that could actually happen in the finals game.
The WNBA is in the midst of a full-blown PR nightmare, and these conspiracy theories are spreading like wildfire. The league's silence simply conveys the idea that they know they made a mistake.
So let's pump the brakes just a little bit. Yeah, they got a bad call. Yeah, it was a wrong call. Yes, they should have won the game. All of that's true.
The WNBA recently experienced its highest-rated finals in 20 years. But at what possible cost could the integrity of the entire league be at risk? This isn't just a single game, though. It's about the future of women's basketball.
Top down, like on every level, it's just disaster after disaster after disaster after disaster. Like this, at this point, it's laughable. I can't even hold back at this point. There were so many people, former WNBA players, current WNBA players coming out and just saying how bad the referees were, how that could actually happen in the finals game. And then the commissioner is on stage in a New York skyline dress. How can people not think it's rigged?
The New York market is a huge source of revenue for the NBA, so consider why risk rigging's such a significant game. A winning team there translates into more viewers, more merchandise sales, and more. But the true problem is that experts caution that this controversy may have long-term consequences for the league's reputation. The question now is not whether the game was rigged, but rather why they believed they could pull it off, and what would happen to women's basketball if spectators began to doubt the veracity of what they were witnessing on the court.
Breanna Stewart do the cha-cha slide and just throw the ball at the basket and somehow get free throws to win the game in overtime. Like, we saw a rigged game yesterday.
Now, think about this. How often has a room full of seasoned sports journalists responded in such a way? It demonstrates how extraordinary this circumstance is. The twist is as shocking as Reeve's revelations, which are only the beginning of the real reason for all of this. It's even more shocking than anyone could have imagined, and once you know it, you won't ever view professional sports the same way again. Reeve didn't just bend the unwritten rules of post-game conduct. She broke them.